Hey everyone, we're here.
Hey,
How's
Mm.
everybody? I know people are already sounding off and saying that they're here and all that other good stuff. So,
Only you can see that since you're the leader.
oh no, oh yeah, I can see the chat. Y'all can't see the chat either.
They don't let us see. We can't see the
I
chat
got it
unless
open
you're
up
running.
on a different tab.
Yeah, that's what I told
Oh,
you.
I
Yeah,
knew
if
that
you,
y'all couldn't click stuff, but I thought you could still see the chat.
yeah, we can't see it on screen. We can just have to do it like the old way. So yeah, that's
All
whatever.
righty then, no
Cool. All right.
problem. So what I will do then is I will go to the top while I'm clicking um DL1 and DL2. Y'all decide who's gonna go next and introduce yourself.
All right, I can go first. No beans. I always make DL go first when I'm running it. So, um, I'm Arthur DL Tillery. I usually do a stream with Aphrodite every week on Tuesday, rather it's on her channel and my channel. And I tend to do an extra stream on Saturdays when I have a chance to. And I do upload videos from time to time, but I've had a sabbatical due to programs, so I got to get a new program. But that's why I stream more. Um, if you don't know, I write fantasy, horror, romance, and actually children's books too. And yeah, so mostly in the adult category, but I also write middle grade as well. But yeah, and I'm working on tonight my revision of my debut novel, which is also a 3-part series. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm trying to do the 5K a day thing, but I haven't succeeded yet with 5K, but I have done at least 1,200 to 3,000 words a day so far.
That's
But
awesome.
I'm hoping I hit the 5,000 mark today. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Hey everybody. We got a new author up in here, KS Mead. You go girl, glad to see you. Sky
Hello.
and Persephone, my sister, from the same mister. That's right, Zeus. And let's see. Michael, what's up? You guys ready for this? Are you guys ready? All right, Mr. Derek, it's your turn.
I'm DL Stewart. I write adult medieval fantasy, and today I will be working on the second book in my Metagore series, Sovereign Duties.
Woo.
And
So I
y'all,
kill off a couple of
y'all
characters.
know me, the craziness that I am. I'm gonna still be working on Jen, even though today I did not work on Jen. I worked on a different project, but I am still counting all those words towards my 5,000.
As you should.
Didn't say they had to be in the same thing, even though I probably should have, and I kind of feel like I'm cheating. I'm still counting those words.
I would say it's cheating.
It is. But I had someone come over. First, I had to deal with my head being crazy and I'm glitching. And so the part of me that didn't want to write that story couldn't.
Mm.
That's where I was. But still had to write. And then just dealing with me not feeling good, not
Yeah.
feeling any better than yesterday, and I kind of pushed myself too much. But that's okay. That's not what's making me sick. I'm already sick. That's just making me tired. If that makes any
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
sense. So everybody, what are you working on for today? Are you participating in 5K? And if you are, let me know how much you got done. I put up my break video today because I had to take a break because I was losing my damn mind. And so y'all, if anybody is seeing the break video, ignore my crazy, but enjoy. So Sky is working on Damned and the Desolate. Damned and Desolate. I don't know why I keep wanting to put
Mm.
in there. Damned and Desolate. So I love that title. Where's the way? See, thank you, Michael.
I don't think it needs to be in the
There you
same project. I mean, no one said that. Just saying.
go. Where's the words? It all counts. Persephone, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think if you're
So I
doing nano, then probably because you're doing one project. But I think when you're doing your own like 5K a day, I don't think that was a stipulation. Not that I heard anyway.
it wasn't in my
Mm.
mind. I was thinking work on one project and get the 25K in total for one. But
Mm-hmm.
I never said that that's what you had to do. And a lot of people, some of their word counts is going towards their editing. So they're editing a certain amount of pages and they're counting that. And I'm like, that fucking counts because editing is a bitch.
Yes, it is. I am not looking forward to that.
Do not like us.
I decided to go with the company you used and who Jenna used, 8 Little Pages. I decided to go with them.
That's why I use.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them for my cover and my format inside my book.
Oh, I got my interior yesterday. I love it.
That was battling
my headings.
I love actually the way they have the inside the books. But I was battling rather to have Cagliostro on the cover or not have him on the cover. And I think I probably am going to go with not having him on the cover and just the detailed stuff I talked about before. But that was a battle in my head, like which way do I go? You know what I mean? I mean, it's if it's more fantasy, then yeah. I mean, it's probably more paranormal, maybe in some instances. So I thought maybe when I do my fantasy to put the characters on the cover, but I it's up and down. I don't.
You can always do a companion comic type book. It doesn't have to be a full story, but
right.
With your characters all drawn out and beautiful and all that, because you definitely want to share those pictures. They're gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I have the art for it. I have a companion that I was working on too, but I just was up in the air about, what would draw people more to the book. The cover could still be good based on what I want, but I just wasn't sure about having him on the cover or not having him on the cover. I mean, I love all the Dritz books, and Dritz is on every cover, but I also love books that don't have characters on the cover, so I was still a little bit torn on which way I want to go. I don't really know right now.
And you can always have more than one cover for the same book.
This is true, but it's not like it's cheap to be fucking done with. So.
Yeah, I thought about that.
But you already got 800 damn covers, Miss.
Well, I know, but those are pre-mades. I mean, their package that you were talking about is around 600. I guess is that for 3 books? Is that a 3-book series that they did for 600 or one cover?
I'll talk to you about that, but no, it was one cover.
Okay. Whew. Yeah, so
like 3 different formats and stuff.
Yeah, they did. I mean, every single thing that I needed for, and again, let's thank Stewie for that. Like the Kobo and the Barnes and Nobles and the this and the that and the other, they do. No stone is unturned.
Whew, I don't know. It's pretty. It's expensive, and I understand why. I mean, it's a lot of time designing a book cover. I get it, but I'm still playing because I did pick an artist that I was going to go with for book cover, and she did one of my other book series that I read all writing
with the cover.
But I might get them to do the formatting for the inside of the book if I don't get them to do the cover for the book, because she's giving me a really, really, really good deal of doing the entire series of all 3 books for the print and the ebook and everything for like $450. So I don't think I can beat that. And I do like her art, so you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to use them for that part.
I do like their formatting though, and I don't have anybody to format.
Separate where you can do formatting if that's all you need. You can do a cover if that's all you need. Because honestly, all I really need is a cover. Because I refuse to do all the artwork for stuff because I know how to format really well. But I wanted the whole package with that.
No, I totally get that. They're really good though.
They are. I mean,
they're really good in my opinion.
So
I'm just thinking about my budget. I'm like, I don't think I can constitute spending $600 just for the cover and formatting of one book. I don't know. So I'm like, so I'm kind of like, I do like the art. Yeah.
I didn't pay for it flat out.
No, I get you, but I'm like, I think I'll have to wait. I'm going to use them eventually. I'm sure. I have so many projects, though. It's ridiculous. So
I missed a lot of. Wait a minute. Let me go back up.
You're a leader of that. You can see that shit. We have to go on.
I saw your video. Yeah, I'm a clown. Mm-hmm. I had to take a break because I was losing my mind.
On this.
Michael is working on Mages of Helron. Correct me on that pronunciation. Shannon is working on Buried in Her Boots, the second book in the Comstock Cozy Mystery Series. I want to write a cozy so bad. I just don't think I can. we're gonna. I'm gonna lean into that next year. Some kind of way I'm writing one.
Yeah, those are cool, right? Actually.
See, Sky is starting the 5K in 5 days today, and you already have 2153 words for today. Thanks for your stream earlier. Yes, I could not jump in on that stream. I had company. I wanted to so bad.
Yeah, I missed your other streams, Aphrodite, because I was doing a whole bunch of junk. You know
that's
me.
all right. That's
And
why I
convention
like the
stuff.
fact that you can always go back in and watch them and stuff. I even go back and watch them and write because I
Yeah.
don't get as much writing done because I talk so damn much. Working on another whip in your series, trying to get to 25K. That was like the goal for this week for stuff. That way, if you don't get 5 today, maybe you get 4 today and 6 tomorrow, kind of thing. 5 is just the goal.
Dude, I'm pleased when I make it to another chapter. I don't even.
Girl, if I get 5K, that's great. If not, it's okay too. I'm just getting words. That's the point. That's the main point.
Mm-hmm.
We all can't be Stewie. I'm not looking at you or anything. Good evening, you fabulous, right? Well, good evening to you, Miss Nicole. Sky, 30 covers. Oh, so you must have like a little secret club with DL Tillery with the cover collectors.
Maybe.
Okay, I see how y'all roll. Whoa. You guys, this is one of my dearest and closest friends, KS Mead. Be nice to her. She's new and she's innocent. And also too innocent. Hey y'all, I'm finally getting back to writing after a few crazy months. Good, Rita.
Yeah, it's always good
We
to come
all have
back.
crazy months.
Oh, that's all right.
Got it right. I tried. You know, I got something right. And again, according to Michael, I'm batting 1,000 here. Hey, Naked. Look, I never know if I'm gonna say Naked or Firefly. I'm gonna call you Firefly because I think that's so cute.
That's true.
Yo, what up?
Hey, Adam.
Just being crazy. Hi, Eva. My friend Eva just left here today. The one I was telling you about. She came here from Jersey.
Yay, Jersey.
Oh my goodness. And we had such a good time. All right. When I'm not writing, I'm getting together my portfolio and applying to a small publisher as a formatter and also doing freelance through my website. You go, girl. Entrepreneurs rule. Let's see. Innocent. Yes. Innocent. Also a tuber. She hasn't put up her first video yet, but she's going to soon. But she's been working on an amazing series, and I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to let her talk about. But yeah, it's pretty off the hook. So this is going to be hard because I keep want to go DL. DL Tillery, DLT. You pose the first question so we can get to sprinting.
Yes, the first question of the night, and the theme is what's in a name. Tell me about your MC. Who wants to grab that first?
Stewie.
Well, I have too many.
Oh yeah, you do have a multi.
I don't know.
Going on.
Y'all pick one and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, well,
y'all pick parts of it.
My MC is Aaliyah Shaw. She's a 17-year-old senior at a school called Halstead Preparatory, and it's a school for the arts. She is she's ridiculously talented and ridiculously brilliant, and she's also ridiculously stubborn, and she doesn't make the best decisions. Let me take that back. She doesn't make the best choices the first go around. She's really smart, but at the same time, she's very immature. So, but I love this girl. I love her. She's tough as fucking nails. She don't take shit. And there's times when she might have benefited if she did take a little shit, but she doesn't. She does not bend.
That's why I like her. Don't bend for no one. So with my MC, so Kali Ostro, he's the first of his kind. and he's born of a fallen angel and werewolf, and then he is infused with vampire blood. He's very powerful, and his personality is like calm and stoic, but he's very passionate when it comes to fighting and when he loves someone. Um, but he's a couple thousand years old, and he likes to dress in suits most of the time. He's been around a long time, so let's just say he has no problem with money. He tends to reside on the other side of the veil, where in my story that most supernatural beings reside at. They can, however, if you are supernatural, you can pass through the veil at will when you would like to. That's also how supernatural beings are kept secret in our world, in my story anyway. So he lives on our map. It would be close to Germany, where his manor is, where he resides most of the time. But you can't really see that because it's on the other side of the veil, where he resides most of the time. So,
I misunderstood you then. I thought he lived on the fringe of the veil.
He lives on the other side of the veil, but he also is living on the other side of the veil. But if it was on our map, it would be where Germany is on our map. So it doesn't show up. So let's say if you went to the same spot, you wouldn't be able to see him. You wouldn't see him. So
that's how Eden's Hollow is in Jen.
Yeah, so you can
find it.
Now he does live close to one of the veil lines where you can pass through. So he actually lives close to that. That's in one part of the book at the beginning where he shows Allison about the veil. So, but yeah. So Cagliostro is a very interesting character. I've developed him for a while, and he changed a bit. I think fitting more to his age and the things he's been through this time around with the revision. So I'm actually looking forward to people reading about him this time too.
That happens though, as you write. I mean, Leah wasn't fully realized until the last page of the book.
Right.
There was stuff that came up about her. I would say, oh, you know what? This is how she would handle that, even if it wasn't a good decision. This is how she would handle it that I didn't recognize until we got to the scene where she had to handle it.
Right. Very true. So back to DL. Just pick. Who's your? I know you got a lot of characters. So
pick one. I'll never say favorite, but pick one.
Yeah, all of them will be interesting. All of them are interesting. So
yeah, I guess I'll pick Darius. He's the one that I like the most because he's more on the darker side, more of a brute, and everything else. He's very physical when it comes to violence. He used to be a knight in 2 different armies. He's moved a lot. He has family issues. He used to watch his dad sexually assault his mother all the time when he was younger. So he kind of holds a grudge against that. He feels like he has to be in control, and he doesn't like people, kind of trying to control him or whatever. He's got to be the one.
Authority issues.
Yeah. He's racist against elves. And yeah.
Elves. Fuck them elves.
Basically.
Nice. Sounds like a very complicated character. Very interesting.
So let's see what everyone else was saying about their characters. And pray I don't miss you. If I miss you, just holler again. So all the names in the Mages of Halloran are inspired by the names of Marion Zimmer Bradley's Hastur series. That was in my next question. You weren't supposed to do that part yet. But that's good. Okay, my MC is Kwanda, the native daughter of a blind mother, Nu, and the tribal leader, Nintu. Okay, I'm already in love with your names. She finds herself in the midst of a war that she can't win without a bit of magic. Those are the best ones. Hey, Alec. Did you hear the question already? I hope you heard it.
If not, it is tell me about your MC. And if you have multiple, you can pick your favorite or
today. So I should have got a notice then. Tomorrow's book release today, y'all.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. Yes, tomorrow's book came out today. Yeah, I gotta just go check because I already ordered it. So, anybody else want to talk about their MC? Put it in the chat. What time is it? So we're gonna go right into a sprint. We kind of
What are
Missed
we
a
doing?
minute out. Let's come back at 8:40.
Okay.
Everybody ready for a 20?
Yep, I'll put the timer on.
Good for me.
Yep.
All right. 8:40-ish. Let's say that since we did miss a minute.
Alrighty. Timer. Alrighty. My timers are behind a little bit. Just gonna stop it. Alright. Set the ball.
So how'd everybody do?
I didn't really get many words written so much as changing, editing a little bit of something, some changes I wanted before I got to the next part. So I wrote about 110 words.
Stewie, your mic. Okay, so your mic is on.
Yeah, I was highlighting to see how much. I got 327.
Oh, that's right. You can do that to figure out where you were. Okay.
I just use Word, so I just kind of highlight. I usually highlight the last thing I actually wrote, like red, so I can just reselect whatever below it, see how much I wrote that time.
I'm gonna be doing that. So, what did you say? 3 what?
27.
27. I got a little over 2, but I actually ran into a damn wall. Something
I had to go lay a kid down.
Oh, look at those numbers.
But mine was I'm getting ready to put them up. My wall though it was an error that is in that outline again because I haven't gone over that outline in like 5 years in order to make it legit for me to be starting with it, and I should have done that before I started because it's flawed. So I have to move. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it. I have to move 2 of these scenes. They won't work here.
Yeah.
And then this is not necessary right now at all. So I'm gonna get ready to jump. And then when I realized that, like, fuck, okay. But that's okay. I caught it.
I had to do too much of reading that time.
My MC Yonda Bencoli, or is it Bencol? I'm not sure. Is a selective mute healer of her island, Igbala, that has to decide whether to marry a man or her family's choosing, or follow her own path. Cool. My MC is a pyro. I literally practiced saying that and still said it wrong. Pyrokinetic immortal ex-slave caught in the middle of a sibling rivalry. Shit.
Nice.
You can't do anything simple, can you? Oh, we're going to just go do it that way. My MC, April Meadows, is an orphan left in the care of her paternal grandmother. At 17, April finds herself living with her mother's side of the family. The story unravels, due to shocking details. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry about the typo. Wasn't fitting that in under 200 words. Girl, please. It's the chat. I don't even try anymore. Persephone got 500.
Wait, these numbers get higher as it goes.
Eva got 539. I'm still feeling that word challenge now. Alec, on his name is James Miller. Okay, gotcha. I love the name James. Sky got 595.
Usual stuff.
So even though I'm hearing the word challenge, I'm not trying to go there. I know I'm not gonna make it. And Rita, 600. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Stewie's like, wait a minute. Did I see a?
I ain't scared.
He ain't scared. Y'all know how he do. 600. Again.
Somebody trying to tell my brother what the hell's going on here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so guys, what's the next question? DLT.
Question number 2 is, why did you name them the name you chose, and what does their name mean?
And Michael answered his, but Michael answered again so everyone can see it. Stewie, why did you name your character the one that you chose? Why did you name him?
The reason I named Darius, when I used to rap, I was Stewie the Great, off of Alexander the Great, because I love Alexander and the whole ordeal. And I kind of based some of Darius's history and backstory with his battles and stuff that he used to be in off of Alexander's history of conquering different kingdoms and stuff. Cool. And one of his rivals that he defeated in one of the battles was Darius, which is spelled the same as Darius. And I just like that name, and that's why I picked it.
That's what's up. I actually love that. And what about you, DLT?
Cagliostro is a made up name. It's a derivative of Coleostro, which is usually spelled with like a G in it. Similar to the name I gave my main character. Um, but actually, the name Coleostro is a count. He's the one of the only people with the name, whatever. But it's an Italian lineage name. But Cagliostro, since it doesn't have a meaning because I made it up based off of that name, I just gave it the meaning he who is of myth and magic. So
That's what I'm saying. Whatever your meaning was.
yeah, so yeah, that's why I got it from. I liked the name. Actually, the first time I heard the name, I think they pronounced it Cagliostro, but it's really Coleostro. And I heard it on Spawn, the movie way back.
I've never seen that.
I used to be big into the Spawn comic books, but I heard the name on the movie, and the guy who was training a Spawn at the time, who used to be a Spawn, his name was Cagliostro, and I really liked that name. Kind of stuck with it. So I was like, if I ever had a son, I was going to name him Cagliostro, and that's what I stuck with the name. And then I was like, I really like Cagliostro, so I just made a meaning to the name and everything. So yeah, that's where it came from.
For me, Aaliyah, I actually don't like the name Aaliyah, and I'm just not going to change it. Like, it's engraved in me now because she had it for so long. But when I first wrote out the whole premise for the trilogy, because I always knew it was going to be a trilogy, I titled each book the name of the girl who was leading the book, and I didn't have any names. So there was a friend of mine, so for some reason, Allie came to me, Allie, A-L-Y. And I didn't know anybody named Allie. I wasn't sure if Allie was a nickname and was short for something. And they were just calling people Allie, like Allison or Alice or something like that. And again, I still didn't know anybody where that fit. And I met this one girl who was a little bitch. Like, I couldn't stand her. And it turned out that her name was Allie, and it wasn't short for anything. That was just her name. So for a long time, it was just Allie. And as I developed her and gave her background and made it where, like, her dad is from Liberia, and her mom lived in Liberia, and that's actually where Aaliyah was born. I was like, I'll give her a more Afrocentric name because her mother would never name her Allie. So that's how, but I said I'd already started writing that out, and the whole all the notes, and I still wanted that AL thing. And there was this little girl who I used to babysit, another little bitch, by the way, and her name was Aaliyah. And I was like, oh, Aaliyah, I can do Aaliyah for Allie, and they could just call her Allie. And no, my mom's still not gonna go for that bullshit. And so I'm gonna call her Aaliyah. So I looked up Aaliyah. I forgot what it meant. But at the time when I looked it up, I said, oh, it works perfectly. This is Aaliyah. She is now Aaliyah. And that's how she became Aaliyah. And the only reason her last name is Shaw is because since she had a 3-syllable first name, I wanted to give her a 1-syllable last name so it can have some cadence.
I like that.
Aaliyah Shaw. And I wanted it to be really short. And the few Liberians that I know, they have these short 1-syllable names. So I said it works out perfectly. Aaliyah Shaw. And that's how she got it.
Oh, I didn't even give Cagliostro's last name because I'll never say it. It's Masterson.
Yeah.
I don't ever even use his last name because it seems a little relevant for the story. So
right. Well, in the story, originally, everybody was called by their last name. That's why Shaw always sticks with me. When I took that aspect out and did a nod to, I don't know if anybody's ever seen To Serve With Love with Sidney Poitier, but in that movie, because those kids were so fucking disrespectful, when he took over the school, took over that class, he said that the men had to be referred to by their last names because they had to have some, dignity about them. And the women had to be referred to Miss and then their first name. So it's Miss Susan, Miss this, Miss that, to make the boys remember first to be respectful, even though they were their classmates. And so I said, you know what? Instead of me calling everybody by their last name like we did in my school, I'm going to do a nod to Serve with Love, and the boys have to call the girls Miss. Now, some of the girls do as well, but the boys have to under no circumstances. Or if they're even caught calling a girl by her name without Miss, that's automatic big time in trouble. So that's where that came from. But that's where the Shaw always stuck in my head.
Yeah, I like the.
So let's see. We did the numbers. I challenged you. Okay. I'm gonna just assume that you're talking to Stewie.
I think we all knew that.
Hello, Poet Spice. What was the question? What was the question again, DL? Can you tell her?
I went ahead and answered it in the chat.
Yeah, he put it in the chat. It's why did you name them the name you chose, and what does their name mean of your MC?
Darius. My nephew's name is Darius.
Darius is a good name. I like Darius.
It's the Macedonian Greek type name.
Yeah, I like that.
You were right, Spotty. Looked right at it and still did it. I started with Miller because that was my grandmother's maiden name, and I chose James to keep the naming legitimate with slavery naming, and I liked it. Makes sense. And you know, names like Miller and Baker and Mason and all those names were given to him based on jobs.
That's how most of my names were derived.
Yeah, if
either a job or a place that you lived.
You got that name. And then yeah. So Jackson was one of the things was like Jack's son literally was a breakdown of that. Abby, short for Abigail. Abigail is one of the names that's going in one of my next books because I love the name Abigail. Short for Abigail is named after my fourth grade grandmother. Wait, your fourth great grandmother. Wow. I use a lot of family names for my main characters. I use all of my children, my nieces and nephews' names in all of my books. They're in there.
I'm just saying your grandson name, his name could be in there, be a powerful main character. I'm just saying.
Ptolemy.
Hey,
Caesar.
He's so funny.
He is a mess. The characters and mages of, please give me a phonetic pronunciation because I feel like I'm butchering that. Halaron are named in reference to the characters of Marion Zimmer Bradley. Say, that's right. You said that series. It was the first fantasy series that had gay main MC in it. That I did not know.
No, I did not know that.
I did not know that. Ooh, I just looked it up. And apparently it's Gaelic, a language started learning. Sorsha is different spelling of Sorsha, meaning bright and radiant. Does it work with your character? Because aren't you writing like a kind of a witchy book? Bright and radiant. Love it.
Good meaning.
Kwanda started as something else and changed to tie in to a crow. Oh, I got to tell you my bird story. New has some native origins, meaning something I don't remember. And Nintu, or is it Nintu, Nintu? Was it Nintu? Tell me. Is a combination of native words meaning Lord. Love it. I love that people aren't just naming characters like, oh, I'm throwing out Susie Q. You know, it absolutely is tied some way. I have a niece named Aaliyah. And that's the spelling that I use too.
Double A, yeah.
Yeah, people were getting with me like, why are you using the H at the end? I'm like, because I want to. Because there are a lot of Aaliyahs that don't have the H, but I like the H. My heroine's name is Drea. It means courageous, and she's going to need to be courageous when the antagonist comes for her. Dramatic music.
Dun, dun,
dun. My other MC is named Andrew because that was my first crush's name. That's always a good thing to do, though. And if they did you wrong, you get to crush them, so it works. Yonda, or Ayonda, because I don't know for sure, actually wasn't the name I started with. I can't remember the other name. I liked it when I looked up Yoruba names.
Mm-hmm.
means a specially selected being. The last name means build my house for me. The last name means bricklayer, carpenter. April is the month my daughter was born in, and the month that I was born in. So obviously, it's a diamond month, so it's great.
Mm-hmm.
My first name means of the meadow. Now, my last name also means from the meadow, but not when I came up with the name. So basically, there is meadow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of green going down. Nintu. Okay, cool. And Sky, she uses bright magic dealing with ghosts. So kind of. Sky, I'm gonna need to read this. Her personality matches the Willow character more than the name meaning.
Mm.
Oh, okay. I have a Willow as well, and I have a Willow, but it's not anything magical or anything. It's a kind of a situation dramedy. And I have a Whisper character, but that is some magic shit. But this girl don't know what she's doing. She fucked up and opened a portal she should not have. So
I have a weeping willow in my book.
Oh, really? Cool.
The tree.
that's my. But I love.
I love that story actually. I think
that was my icon on my Facebook for a long time. A big picture of a weeping willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my neighbors has one. I love them.
Yeah, they're really nice trees actually.
See, we all like weeping willows. That I should get to be a DL.
Change your name, my girl.
Next stream, man. DL's going up there. I'm putting Didi Lee. I'm just saying. I'm doing it. And if I have to, I'll put Didi Lee, then I'll hyphenate it and put my husband's name on there. Bloom.
Which one?
Bloom. Because I'm not going to let Katie win.
You are too funny. I was like, which husband? I wasn't sure.
You know, I was going to say Rain, but I just rather fool around with him.
Oh, he's not husband material? Now, why you going to make him cry? You've seen that video, girl. You've seen that video. If you make Rain cry, I'm going to have to come for you, okay?
Oh, I won't make him cry in the way that'd be bad. Oh, let's not do that.
You going to go there. I didn't even do that.
I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to look at Stewie and remember that he fucked up my whole season with some shit and he know what he did. I'm not going to say.
And then he came after me with it. And I was like, to me like, why you messing with me, Dio? I couldn't. I was like, why you doing that, man? But I do thank him for it, though.
I figured y'all would enjoy it.
You threw my shit off.
Nice eye candy. Thank you for that.
And then the latest shit that came up, I was like, oh my God. I
was like, man bun, please stop. Then I started imagining him in a kilt and shit. It wasn't good.
I was not imagining any
Harley Quinn commercial as a Viking.
Oh, stop.
I'm not. Yeah, you're still punished. Just in case you weren't aware. Oh, so y'all see this up here? It says.
I mean, if you got some pictures or something, I'm not going.
Mm-hmm. Up here it says because you know my favorite color is green. Mm-hmm. That is a dig at me. One of those inside jokes. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to her. Her favorite color is green. She said it. All right, so I have a crabapple tree. It's not so pretty as a willow, but the deer like it.
They do. I have a crabapple tree in my.
They serve their purpose.
Freaking branches grow like straight up in the air. All weird and stuff like. Good horror tree.
They're reaching for the sun.
It is reaching for the sun, dude.
So you need to know more. You don't want to know what he did to us. He was very bad.
I had to do my audiobook narrator.
Yeah, he's like hot as fuck. I'm just saying.
Very bad.
It reminds me of Jason Momoa.
He reminds me of Jason Momoa too.
That's enough.
I think the eyebrows and everything else.
All that hair. I just wanted to mess his hair up.
Like a tall dude with all that hair. Like, stop. No.
I listened to every clip he did on his Insta. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to really listen to the book.
No, you're gonna be like looking at him like, dude. I have a friend on my friend list whose husband dude is hot as fuck. Look like that dude. I'm like, would you stop putting pictures of your husband up? I'm trying to be good. Like, stop putting pictures of him because I'm looking at him wrong. Like, you need to stop.
You sound like my friend. She used to, now her and her husband were really cool. Like, I love them. And she used to see guys, and her husband could be anywhere near. And she would go, "Oh, he is fine if I wasn't married."
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
There's nothing wrong with looking.
I said, "Why do you always say that?" And she said, "Oh, because just because I'm married, I always just tag that on to remind myself." My husband does the same thing. I was like, "Oh, okay, I love y'all."
There's nothing wrong with looking. Just looking. I mean, I can admire somebody who look really good. Just saying. They should stop looking good, then I wouldn't have to look.
I got some new Aquaman hair. Not the pack.
Nice.
I'm sorry. I need the complete package. I have to have the packs. Actually, I like, I don't know if you guys ever seen him, but I like guys like Rain By. He's real tall, but he's got shoulders for days. He actually, his body looks more like a swimmer. So he's really slim, but he's,
he's toned.
Yeah.
No lie.
He real fine. But again, yeah, Stewie's punished y'all. But what time is
Stewie, I'm not punishing you. You can send all pictures you want all time.
It's 9:01. So let's go to the next let's do the next 20. You guys ready?
Yeah, we ready.
All right, and hopefully I can get past. If I can't get past this, then I'm just gonna jump into something else because I might need to fix this before I can do it.
I'm gonna try to sprint. I'm trying to go for gold and not even see what I can do.
All right, guys, start. Don't listen to me talk. Go and do what you gotta do.
Yeah. All for it. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Oh, I don't know if I can fix this. Yeah, let's scrap it.
All right, mine's a minute behind. And stop. Okay. Oh, ow.
So of course that terrified me when I heard it. Jumped out of my skin, man.
Whoopsies.
You would think by now, we knowing that
You
they're
saw
going to
that?
be around.
No.
So let's see.
I
We're
got 661.
661.
My brother living up to his name, dude.
I got about 20, then I realized I needed to stop and work on something different because I need to fix that outline.
I'm proud of myself. I did 512.
That's what's up.
I wasn't playing that round. No reading that time, thank God.
Alec in there rhyming. I like them arms when they flex, like that print in them sweats. Tell them girls thank you next. And Billy is here. Hey Billy.
Hey, Billy.
You missed it again. I did cook, so I did make some tuna the other day. Let's see. I think that's an angel.
Yep.
And let's see. Butterflies from bees. Can I just say how I really enjoy seeing kids running around in the background? All just living their lives, still making words. Yes.
That's all right. Yeah, my daughter, she was in here earlier running around and deorganizing my library.
I love that, reorganizing.
She's taking a nap. Yeah, she's taking a nap right now. So she wanted to at least took her little tablet and rolled out a little bit ago.
Oh my goodness. So, excuse me, Eva, 357.
Woo!
Sky, 807.
Woo! Sky was getting them hot numbers, man. She going for the sky.
220. Y'all just all dissing me, but that's okay. I ain't mad. I love it.
They got some popcorn. Yeah, popcorn.
Rita, 458.
Good job. Good job.
Shannon, 183.
Yeah, everybody's doing
so
good.
Everybody is in gear. And what is that?
I did screen share. So you might enjoy that.
What is happening?
This is happening.
Oh, thank you.
See how he's looking at me? Y'all see how he's looking at me?
No, he didn't do Santa. He's gonna stop, right? What?
I got some stuff I want to ask for. I'm about to sit in somebody's lap.
Oh shit.
Oh my Lord. Lord.
That need to be moved over some, because I'm missing some pictures. You got to send me that. You need to send me that like right now.
I can't. Wait a minute. Wait, I might be able. Let me see.
Well, I can't send me the link.
There you go. Whole screen, I guess.
I love his tattoos.
No, that didn't help. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, look at the lip. Oh shit.
Let's just say he's wearing the jeans. So we punished again. What the fuck was I writing?
You know what?
You know what I'm writing? I'm getting ready to get to a part where the character Talia is about to meet the character that Jason Momoa's kind of physique is based after. I might be picturing him from now on.
Look at everybody like, hello.
I mean, Santa Claus is coming to town.
But like, Santa, I'm sorry, I have to be naughty.
Okay, I can't deal with it no more. You punished again. You stay punished. You just don't stay punished.
Look at Alec putting the devil set on, so I like candy.
Well, I must have missed it. Hold on, wait. Oh, that made me. Why are we scrolling photos of my husband? Even when your husband is that delicious, you supposed to be willing to share.
No, that's not even like. How are you supposed to get any work done with that walking around the house? Like,
oh, I would get some work done. Oh, you mean writing? Oh, okay.
I didn't mean that kind of work. That ain't work.
Some work would get.
She's doing some research.
There you go, research.
That's right. Sharon is Karen. That's why we love DL. He know what we like.
He's like, them girls is cray. And this man is reading the book like, hello, goodbye. You can look. Well, thank you. I will be respectful and only look. That's probably all I can handle, to be honest with you.
Sure, I just go for the blood flow. Yeah. No less.
It's those eyes. No, it's that hair. No, it's that blood.
No, it's everything.
Everything.
I have to agree with
Exactly. Exactly.
He be like, them crazy girls over there.
No joke. It's not good for the brain flow though, because I swear I'm going off again. But I'm gonna fall back in. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. Oh, Lord Jesus, did it get hot in here? I turned my fan on. Y'all.
Oh my God.
I'm not even joking. Like, my temperature went up, y'all.
Yeah, it did get a little hot in here, I swear.
It just comes down to me needing a boyfriend.
We no good. I don't even mean nothing. I'm just saying.
I do.
I mean, I have a boyfriend. I'm just saying, like, that don't mean nothing. Like, I could look. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. He looked real good.
Saying, baby making don't need no brain. I'm not fooling with you, Alec. I'm not.
Oh man.
Oh Lord, hold on. I missed one. Cold showers for everyone. Yes, they will be in order. The storehouse.
You tell me.
He started this shit, y'all.
No, but for real, that is my audiobook narrator.
Right.
Yeah, DL had to. Well, we got to get DL to hook us up with like some audio people. You know, I mean, that dude hot as fuck though.
He auditioned though, right? Won't you tell people about the process?
Yeah, I had posted up on ACX, and then I had searched for different narrators that did different voices, because I didn't want it all to be kind of the same. I want each character to have their own voice. And I actually kind of stumbled upon him, and he sent me like a rough one that wasn't mixer mastered or anything because he was currently working on a different project at that time. He didn't want to take too much time out to do it, but he went ahead and sent it in, and I enjoyed it. He got a lot of the voices correct the first time without me actually having to tell him, just because of like some of the info I had put in.
Wow.
And then after I had talked to him or whatever, we had video chatted together and shit, and I kind of went over some of the pronunciations and stuff and kind of told him a little bit more about exactly the accents and stuff for each of the characters. So I'm looking forward to it.
So
right now all he's done is that opening, title of the book and who wrote it and stuff. It's the only thing audio-wise I've received besides the audition.
Awesome.
So next time, all you need to do is when you need to talk to him is contact me and I'll talk to him for you.
Look at you.
I will make that sacrifice. You know,
listen, you don't need no more husbands or boyfriends. You got enough stuff.
I don't need to. Sarah said the same thing to me. She's like, how many boyfriends do you have? But they're so pretty. And they're pretty and they talk to me.
You got a hoarding issue. You're trying to collect.
Yeah, I might actually have a hoarding issue.
You. All right. So the third question for the night is naming characters a joy or chore. What does everybody
think? Everybody, please show some love.
And to me, I think it's
go ahead, you go first.
It's a joy to me. I mean, I love naming my characters and just like I like making character bios. I'm like obsessed with that. I love it. Like as soon as I got to do some kind of research or check a name meaning, I'm all over that. So and making the character bios is like a plus. So I love doing the name thing. That's why my daughter has such a detailed name. She didn't get that name for nothing. So sorry, baby. Mommy's a writer, so Feyor Chiyoko Ravenwood. So I'm just saying. I always look at the meanings of names. That's what I love doing that. So when I have to do it for writing, it's just like candy.
I love naming characters, naming places, naming books, naming series. I love anything doing with naming because I like doing all the research and have all the underlining meanings for it. So even if you never know those meanings, I still have them. So I love it. Even though, like I said before, I am struggling with Jen. Well, actually, I'm a little bit closer for that. Awesome. And I struggled with the name for the hollow that they lived in. I knew it needed to be called Hollow, but that was it. That was really the only time I ever had that problem. And what about you, Stewie?
I love naming. I don't name all my characters for a particular reason or not, whatever. A lot of them do, but some of them are just kind of thought up. But I love naming them, thinking about it. I like naming chapters. I know a lot of people just like chapter 1, chapter 2 because they don't like having to try to name them.
I knew you were my brother. I love naming chapters.
But I love naming chapters and kind of giving them a slight hint of what might be in that chapter or whatever, like a little teaser and stuff like that.
I love that.
I used to name chapters, and the only reason I don't do it is out of pure laziness. I'm just being
names.
Pure lazy because I used to name because to be honest with you, I thought you had to because most of the books that I would read, chapters all had names and titles. And so I thought that was the norm until I saw that it wasn't the norm. It was whatever people wanted to do. But I was still naming all my chapters. And I think I got like 75% through one of my books and decided I don't want to figure out what the name of these other chapters are. So I didn't. My Uncharted series is the only series I have left that still has chapter titles. And I do believe I'm going to, in my Surrender Goddess series, we'll have chapter titles, but that's it. I just got lazy. I pulled everyone that I already created and was like, you know what? Chapter 2, that's going to work. But I actually
mine are like chapter 1 and then the title, chapter 2, then the title.
Yeah, I prefer that, but I'm just lazy, so I'm not going to switch
some of them
on the other ones now. But the ones I did name that I do have it on, I will keep. And with my Uncharted series, each chapter ended in ED. So it was a thing for it was because it's Uncharted. So it was like devoted,
Yeah.
this, that, the other thing, and blah blah blah. So those did have the titles, but that was it. I prefer it, but too lazy.
Yeah, I like. I know some of those like side plots or whatever, or portions of the plot following certain characters. Some of the chapters are kind of titled similar, so it kind of reference back to that. I have one that's a debt owed, and then a chapter in the next book called unpaid debt. So those two kind of go back and forth together. One of the first chapter in my first book from the Medjugorje Kingdom. It's called On Land and Sea because their motto is "We stand solid on land and sea."
Yeah.
And the first chapter in the second book from that kingdom is called "We Stand Solid," kind of playing on that same ordeal.
Yep.
And there's a few others, kind of playing off of each other.
Nice.
And if you're a patron, I do have a couple. Danette is a patron and Kim KS Mead is a patron. But if you're in my Patreon, you'll see that my Deviant series, which isn't really a book, it's a script. I've made make it into a book, but it's actually a screenplay, a whole screenplay, not a short. But I broke it up into 13 little sections because I was going to do it as like a mini, like a web series, a mini web series. So technically the whole movie just broken up into little parts. And I did name those. I did title those, but they're like Deviant, like I can't remember right off there. Deviant, Boys Will Be Girls.
Wow.
Deviant, The Other Friends. Deviant to this. So those are named, but I don't even know what made me do that. Oh, I do know. I was trying to do a contest back in the day for a web series. That's why I broke it into a web series. See, it's all coming back to me. And they needed to all be titled because they were episodes. So each episode had to have a title. That's what it was.
Oh.
That's what I did. Let's see what our peeps are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
And also some of the chapters, if it's from like a different kingdom that speaks a different language, I also put that language as the title as well. I have like the English and their
Do you have the
translated.
glyphs for your languages?
The what?
Do you have the glyphs for your languages?
It's in like English alphabet or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But it's written in English and then written in their language.
Got you. The romanization of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I need a narrator. There's not, if your book is done, if you really want to do it, all you gotta do is go through ACX. That's what I did. I put my book up there and I filled out little things like this is what it's about, this kind of thing, la 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 la. You give the information, it'll prompt you, and you can say what you need to say, and then people will contact you to audition. So I put up. I was trying to be clever because the book I used was Encounters, and because Encounters is adult.
Yeah.
You want to make sure people know this is erotica.
Yeah, well,
so you don't want somebody to pick it up and go, "Whoa, did the word penis pop up?"
Lord, they've been doing that. They were Anne Rice's.
I didn't realize how that sounded.
Sleeping Beauty series got me. I didn't know what I was getting into.
I made it really, really clear.
You did. That wasn't Anne Rice's fault. That was my fault because I saw Beauty, and I knew it was like a. But I didn't know all that was going to be in there. It took me a while to read the second one. I was like,
she took that to a level, but she based it on the original story, so I do have to give her props on that.
True, but it was a bit much for me.
It's not what Disney did to it; it's what it originally was.
It was a bit much for me when I was in my early 20s. I was like,
yeah, because I didn't read it till I was in my 40s. So
yeah, I was like,
I still wasn't prepared.
Nobody's prepared for that. I'm just saying, like Sleeping Beauty by Anne Rice, I wasn't ready for that.
It was one of those things that even when people tell you, you're still not prepared.
I had everything in there. I mean, every kind of
some places I don't ever plan on going.
Everything is in that book. Like, I'm just saying.
I have a vivid picture of a scene from that book that never goes away that I just really want to go away.
Yeah, it's a few.
And do you recall? I'm not gonna say details, but do you recall the bumblebees thing? The honey and the bumblebees. It won't leave my brain.
Well, I can
What's
see.
wrong with her? She got issues. But so Alec, when you get the thing on ATX, you'll put in the script that you want them to read or part of the book. And what I did was I specifically put in particular parts to see how she would handle it, especially since it was a woman who wanted to audition first. And I have male characters throughout it, and I wanted to see if she could do it. She nailed it.
Yeah.
She nailed it. Outside of pronunciations that were not her fault, because I didn't give any direction whatsoever. I wanted to see what she did with it. When I got back with her to do the pronunciation, she handled it. So
yeah, it was good.
That way. You will not be disappointed. So many.
I'm a little afraid. I don't know. I'm a little afraid to get my audiobook done once the book done. I'm a little afraid. I don't know. I was like,
you don't have this. Here's the thing. You don't have to accept it. So if you pick your book up and you do your thing and you're still not getting who you want, and you can also ask people, you can look at you can listen to their thingies and say, oh, I like the way this person is doing this. And you can ask them to do it.
I did that for a few.
But people will flock to your story.
Yeah.
They will audition and then you just listen to all the auditions.
I know I want a male to narrate it and I want an accent of sorts.
Probably you can go in and go how more what accent you want the narrator.
Right. Okay.
The age range and all that.
Only problem is he would have to the person has to narrate because it's mostly at the beginning of the book. It's just Cagliostro and Allison, and then I think Duncan's in there a little bit. So I mean, the voice actors, I'm sure they.
They can do it.
You know, so I'm not worried about that so much. The beginning of the book is really easy. It's like it's only those 3 characters at first, and then you go into all the different things once they leave.
And in actuality, if you have those 3 characters, and they have to do 4 because you still have the part that's more narrated.
Yeah, the narrator.
The 3 people speaking, and then the narration part.
Yep.
And they have good ones. They have some ones that aren't as good, or their range isn't as good. So, but you just pass them over.
But yeah, I think I had like 13 people or whatever auditioned for mine.
Yeah, you won't be sure the people auditioning. I'm telling you, don't worry about it, Alec. Just you can remember that you don't have to. You can reject people just because they audition them. You have to keep them.
Oh, yeah.
I should tell my older brother to do that. Be a narrator. He voice act like it's ridiculous.
Oh, here's the answer. Okay, Stephanie. Yeah, I love it too. That's one of my favorite parts to do. I knew what you meant. I love building them too. I have different types of character sheets that I created. And I created all my character sheets in Excel. It was nothing to them. I just created them in Excel. But fantasy characters or fantasy species do call for more details than just regular human stuff. And so I have different sheets that I use for my fantasy stuff over my human stuff. Unless my humans are in the fantasy stories, I use the same sheets for everybody. Their shit is just, the humans are just more blank. You know, so, and I have with the kids that I work with, theirs is more detailed because I noticed that whenever I tell a kid to flesh out their character and they don't get it at first, so I'm like, you ask the question, what do they like? What do they do? What do they do? Well, I don't know what they do. I said, well, see, guess what? You're the writer. You get to make it up. So now this person loves pizza and is allergic to tomatoes. There you go. So, but they eat the pizza anyway because it got the damn tomatoes, and now they get sick. Oh, wow, Miss Lee, that's pretty awesome. And then they start thinking of stories. Well, what if I put them in camp and the only thing that's left to eat is tomatoes and they're trapped? I'm like, do it.
Now you got a horror movie. I don't know.
Let's say KS said, yeah, you like both. See, I love it. I love it. Let's see, Shannon, it can be both a joy and a pain. When I have one I can't come up with the name for, I ask my mom. Let me change that so that's not going across his forehead like that. I enjoy making things in general. When I am semi stuck on a name, I don't worry about that. I go, what do I want the person to stand for? Like I have a character named Johnny Ingram, and he's I named him Ingram because it's the name of the story is called Johnny Raven, and I looked up a word that meant raven and got Ingram. So now he has a last name, and it means Raven. So if you get stuck and it's just a little teeny bit of advice, and you're like, well, what do I want to say about her? Do I want to call her Red or Redhead? Then name her Rowan or Talia. That's what I did. That's how Talia gets her name. Talia, actually, no, Talia is like Red and Bear. Her last name is Ken. She's a red bear, and such stuff. Such is life.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy making things in general. I think that's how we just are as creatives.
Yeah.
I love naming as well. Sometimes I write about a character or a place for a while with no name. The name makes them real for me. Yeah, and sometimes it'll tell you what it is. I did have characters like Baron who didn't have a name for a minute, and I was like, you know what? I really love the name Baron. And then I thought about this character who really needs to be rescued because he's fucking horrible and like something. Then I thought, you know what, Baron Trump needs to be rescued too, so it works. He really does. That poor kid.
Yeah.
I would love to adopt him. Okay, I love coming up with names. I'm not like Tillery though. I don't like the character bios. I don't know why. I do like doing character bios. I do not start my stories off with bios. I know a lot of people do. I start my stories off with stories, and then I create characters, I create people, and I throw them in the middle of it and see what they have to do to get out of it.
Yeah.
I am big on fucking with people. I write tragedies. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. And my favorite thing is in the whole world, my whole concept of when I start writing, I go, what does this person want? How can I give it to them in a big way and make them pay for having it?
Sounds like
make them pay for it. Oh, you wanted that boy. I'm going to give you that boy after all the struggle, but then he's going to be an axe murderer. I have named chapters before. It's fun, yeah. I'm lazy. For some reason, naming chapters didn't appeal to me as much as me doing it as seeing them because I love them. I hate character bios. It's so tedious. Mm-hmm. People don't have to write them. Some people don't. Some people just know and keep it in their head. Me, if I don't put it in paper, then it's not real.
It's all about me like doing it, man. It's probably because I'm an RPG gamer, probably. I was used to make characters and do D&D, so I used to love writing that kind of shit. So.
Yeah, I can usually remember most of the stuff, like the details, like eye color and maybe hair color.
I remember most of it. I just like doing it because I plan on having the picture and then doing like their bio with it and shit like that. So I write it all down. I write some detailed stuff in my bio. So I had a video about that shit where I'd go into some details like what was their childhood like. I started writing their backstory and shit. Like how did they grow up? How were they treated as a child? All kinds of crazy shit.
I have Aaliyah's 17. I write her story from the time her mom got pregnant with her up until she's 17, even though that is not in the book.
Yep.
I know people think that's extra, but I do it because Aaliyah's walking around and she's doing shit. Mm-hmm. She can't be anybody but herself.
Yep.
But what I don't do when I start characters off is I don't worry about hair color, eye color, height, skin color, sex, race, orientation, none of that. I'm so busy in the story trying to map out, just mapping out things in the story, and then I throw people in. Mm-hmm. And then as I start throwing them in, they start to flesh out. When I get to where they're fleshing out, then I stop everything I'm doing and I do all that stuff I talked about.
I do the same thing. I'll just kind of start writing them, like the personality type that I want them to have into the story. And then as I come up with the details, like what race they are or what color eyes or whatever, if it gets mentioned, then I'll just add that to their character sheet. And then later on, something else will come up and I'll add that to the character sheet. So I'll just kind of build the character sheet as I'm actually writing for most characters. I mean, there's some characters that I know exactly what I want them to be from the start, and I'll do it. But a lot of the characters, I just kind of build up on.
I'm big on child development for my character. So like I really think about their childhood, and I think about the structure of like how were they treated as a child, what was their environment as a child, and that kind of helps me with their personality of what they could be when they become an adult character, if the book goes into them being an adult character. So I kind of really get into that, and that actually helps me make their personality when they get older, because we all know that our childhoods affect who we are when we get older, whether we had good parents or bad parents, or neglected or cuddled too much, or whatever. Whatever case, if you lose your parents, if your parents are alive, all this stuff.
Yeah,
so
everything that all affects you.
all that affects you.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I do that. I don't do, but I'm nowhere. I nowhere near do that in the beginning as part of the writing process. Like it was a thing in AutoTubers, and people were talking about doing characters first, which that process will call for all that too. I don't do it in that order, but I still end up doing it. I just I plot first, and I throw people.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
Yep.
And it works. But see, that's the beautiful thing about writers. There is no one way to do it correctly.
This is true.
Everything is a beautifully.
I think I would say it depended on my story which way that fell. Whether it was the plot first or the character first. Because I've done it where it was the plot first, and then a lot of times it's my character first. The main character tends to build for me for the plot, and then the sub characters, side characters, whatever, build the subplots and which tie into the main plot or whatever. So that's
I have had characters initiate stories, but even with those, I still end up stopping and then working out the story that came to me based on the character that started it. Because I have a character named Lore who ignited. He just set off a whole big craziness. And I still couldn't get any further until I plotted it and mapped it out more, and then went back and really fleshed out those characters.
Yep.
But that's just my process, and it really friggin' works for me.
Yeah.
Character bios are great to share on your website or social media. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I did that on my I've done that on my page.
Yeah, Shannon, I'm going to do it in my Patreon.
They are. It's good to share those.
I gotta do that.
It's like teaser stuff. You can get away with that. So
yeah, I love doing teasers.
I do teasers.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that for my blog. I'm always trying to think of stuff to do.
Yeah.
People like to know about the characters.
In my beta group, I have a group called The Collective. I tell they have that. It's not written in bio form, but I'll do a thing like let's talk about Chase. And I'll give you a whole bunch of stuff. Like they can tell a whole bunch of stuff on Chase, maybe some stuff you didn't know, or maybe some stuff that gives you a peek into what's coming next, because it kind of foreshadowed and shattered, but it's coming up next in Sheer, that kind of thing. Well, and Stained, stuff like that, little teasers. But I'd never thought about doing that.
What's the ones you were doing, Aphrodite? What are they called? Character boards? The one where you do like all the different explains the character through pictures or whatever. I think you call them like character boards.
Aesthetic boards and stuff.
Talking about the storyboards?
Yeah, storyboards for them, but you don't use any wording, very little wording on it, and then you use like different pictures. So, like when I remember you had some of us in the group do ones for different characters.
Oh, you're talking about mood boards.
Mood boards, yeah, thanks. I could remember. But yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. Also, it let you see, especially people who read the book, what the people think about the character. You were laughing at me. You were like, "Oh my god!" I was just doing all the characters. I was obsessed.
Everybody, what she's talking about, and we have a private group, The Collective, and it's only my betas are in it because it would be too spoilery to share with everybody else. Because I would love to share it, but it's way too spoilery because they get in there and they're talking to each other. Did you see that shit Chase did in chapter 12 kind of thing? So obviously I can't share it with the world. But I had them pick their favorite character and then do a mood board form that explained how they saw them. And then I had them pick their least favorite character. You have to remember, you're not talking about how much you hate this person, but how you see them. And they were off the charts. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was
You had to
amazing.
go find pictures and shit online.
And
she was freaking out when I did Aaliyah. She was like, "Where'd you find this girl? Looks just like Aaliyah."
And it made me so happy to see that you found a picture
of what I thought
of the character how you saw Aaliyah, which is how I saw Aaliyah. So it came off the page.
That's cool. Yep, it did.
But one of the ones that made me laugh was KS Mead when she did Pooey. And she put this picture of Pooey in, and I just bust out laughing because it was like this little Asian girl in her little school uniform, and I'm like,
you were like,
how you saw Pooey?
You what? That's Pooey?
So cute. I just thought it was.
Because everybody interpret differently.
Interpretations. I love it.
Yeah.
And I was, you know what? I said maybe she was going by the name because she does have the Chinese nickname, and she is part Asian. But she's like this really super tall, super skinny dancer chick. And then I realized when I described her, because she's like golden, from top to bottom, her eyes are golden, her hair is golden, her skin is golden. I can see how she got that. It was just so cute. It was so cute. But
how everybody envisions the characters,
right? And just like my actress when she did her voice interpretations of all the characters.
That was funny. I was laughing at the one country accent.
I was laughing when she did the Lincoln character, and I died when she did the Diamond character because she doesn't know who I based them on. She nailed them. She nailed them. It's so funny. I'll let DL Stewart. I'll let you hear it. I gotta send it to you, but it was so funny. Oh my god! But she nailed it. I was like, did she meet you? I had to let Kim, who is Diamond, I had to let her listen to it. I said, then prepare yourself, listen, because she got you. And when the producer did the part where it came up for Diamond's part, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And Kim was like, I said, yes. Like she pegged you and she doesn't even know you. I just want to point that out.
It was funny.
So that was just really funny. She got you too, KS. Yes, Winter in that book. So read it. It can be both because I need the name to fit with the character's description and traits. If that makes sense. No, it makes total sense. I don't want to name a dark and broody guy a boring name. Now sometimes it is funny if you have a dark and broody guy and his name is Liesel. But that also depends on the aesthetic you're going for.
Cornelius.
Right? It's the Corny Collins show. Like, that is so interesting at Rita Sort. Yeah. It makes me wonder how some names get dark and broody. Probably other stories. Yes, true.
More than likely.
Oh my God, penis. Yes, and you know what was bad? I said penis and pops. So that was, I really didn't mean to do that. Forgive me.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I meant like, oh, it's a penis pop. And I'm like, oh, that sounded a little vulgar. Since I do dual perspectives, are all your books dual perspectives or this current one? Each of my chapters are the name of the MC in that chapter. That's what VC Andrews used to do too. The top of the chapter, it would switch over. And I forget, is it If There Be Thorns? No, I think it's the third book. And each boy, it would just switch back and forth between those two boys. And the way she did it, it was almost like you had two books. It was the same time. So you had one boy, if he was talking about some shit that was going on with him, he's in this room. The other boy's talking about shit going on with him in the other room. But it was happening at the same time. So I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I like
if I do like switch between
like, he's talking, Joe's talking today, and then Jimmy's talking tomorrow, and then Joe's talking the next day. It was all at the exact same time. Just their perspective.
I try to be careful with my dual perspectives. I tend to like if I switch between Cagliostro and Allison, like who's gonna be perspective wise, I try to put like a divider or some shit. Like in the chat, like if it does, let's say his, and I put a divider there, and then it switches over to Allison's perspective or whatever, and then and then it may bleed into another chapter, and then of course it switches to Cagliostro because that chapter started or whatever like that. So that's what I try to do, but I gotta remember to fucking do that.
True.
all the way through.
Because you don't want to get somebody confused. Wait a minute, I thought Kali Asha was talking.
I mean, I don't get confused. Like, I read lots of books, like, obviously, but I've never gotten confused about who was talking when, even if the writer did that automatic switch and then, or they would say that that's bad writing or something in some cases. But I never got confused. I guess maybe I'm really paying attention or something, but I've never once been confused in a book when I was reading.
I used to say,
to who's talking.
The people who getting confused, the book, they don't get the book.
Yeah, I never got confused.
That's not really fair to say though, because you can't slip up and mess somebody up.
I've never been confused. I've never even heard of that. That's why I wasn't like right about. I was like, what? I didn't think like Susan was talking when it was James. Like that never happened. Or her sister was talking when she was talking. I kind of was following the conversation. Maybe you're the type of person that be in a conversation or who talking.
I think I'm really, really good at that with dialogue tags and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that you don't have to go and then Stewie said blah 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 blah, and you know Danette said blah 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 blah. You don't have to do that if you already established who's talking and going back and forth unless you do some weird shit. So I think
I was about to say a lot of mine. Sometimes there's like a large group and only like two's talking, and then when a third would join in, I'd kind of mention them.
Right.
And then I would also mention like whichever one of those two replied to that one.
Right.
So,
you get established.
Those two now.
Yeah. Exactly. So what kind of name is Eva? Let me tell you what you said. Is it broody? I don't think Eva is broody, but this is my take on Eva. That you have this sweet, innocent, lovely person, works hard, does whatever needs to be done, give you the shirt off their back, but don't fuck with them. Don't fuck them over. And because then that same person, retaliation and revenge is their gift. And the reason why Eva strikes me that way, because my Eva is like that. Don't fuck with her. She's the nicest person you ever want to meet. Don't mess up. There's stuff I can't even tell you about. Don't mess up. She does not play. She doesn't like injustice. She doesn't like any. If something isn't fair or right, she does everything she can to make it right. And if she can't, she goes after the people making it wrong.
Sure.
She's a mess. So when I think of Eva, that's the first thing my mom used to say evil Eva, but she didn't really mean evil. She meant like, don't fuck with her. She's dangerous. Don't let that beautiful smile fool you. Don't let that blonde hair to her wig. She used to have blonde hair to the middle of her back. Don't let that pretty fool you. My little sister Eva will get you. Sarah! And of course, Eva was like my mom's favorite kid. So again, I read Anne Rice when I was 15.
Well, it's one thing to read Anne Rice when you're 15.
Screwed up forever.
I was gonna say, like, it's one thing to read Anne Rice when you're 15. It's another thing to read Anne Rice's alter ego with erotica when you're 15. I mean, I don't know. I was at 15. I would have just been like destroyed if I would have.
When I read Anne Rice, to be honest with you, I really thought, I'm talking about the erotica stuff because I hadn't read the other stuff. I read it and said something is wrong with her.
I was like, "Whoa, Anne Rice, what are you hiding?" And that was written a long time ago. It's old.
She wrote that book, the Christian book that came out when she was saying that she had given herself over and that she said she was full of demons. I said, I believe her. You need Jesus.
You funny.
I did, but I did. I was like, what?
You have to separate your writing from your beliefs because I don't ever even bring any of my beliefs into my writing at all. It's like I can write all kinds of stuff, but seriously, that I was everything was in there. I mean, seriously, you could name it sexualized. It's in that book and some other deviant type stuff.
Deviant is the word. So, Alec, what do you mean you need a tall, dark brick house who sounds like a detective? Oh, you're talking about narrating. Put that in there. You want a tall, dark brick house who sounds like a detective. I'm telling you.
You can pick different. voicing styles, different accents, everything.
Mhm.
So if you want something more broody sounding or more rough sounding or softer or whatever, you can let them know.
Yep, I wanted my middle of the road voice for Pandora,
Mm.
and she got it.
Has anyone ever done
You're gonna narrate something someday?
is
You're
any
audition for something. You can't. It doesn't hurt you. I promise you. If somebody doesn't want you, it's no reflection on your ability. It's just that you don't fit what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Please audition.
I was wondering, has anybody ever done those two people reading in a book narration? I haven't ever heard of that, if that's true or not. Like, is there
I
like
haven't, but I wouldn't be
Do what?
surprised.
like dual like two people doing a book read? Like, if there's male females in the book, have they had two people team up together and do a
I've
book?
heard
like that
of
before?
some audiobooks that's done that.
I
That
never
would be
heard.
like,
That's what I was wondering.
it was like a dual perspective.
Friends who would
They would
do.
have like the male doing the narration and the male voice, and then the female main character, the female will do that voice.
All right.
I
was
literally was
curious.
considering doing having some actor kids do a table read and go through my entire script
All right.
and record, but video record them for
Mhm.
my patrons.
Mhm.
And so I don't think it's out of the. I think it's possible. You would have. Your voice is amazing. You would be great. You would be great. Look, I stumble enough. You have no idea how much I struggle to speak, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I was thinking I was interested in having a female and male in the book, just because for me, I'll be like, I think it'd feel more for me, because what if I pick a guy, the guy I'm looking for to play the narrator in Cagliostro's voice, I don't know, because some voice actors are really good at changing their vocals. The deepness of the voice, I really don't know if that's going to play well with Allison's voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he could change to that degree, that'd be amazing. But I'm not really sure. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see where my narrator had done a video? I don't know if it's on Instagram or YouTube or what, but where he did the female voices.
Yeah, I seen that. That's good. That's why I said someone could be able to do that. That's very possible. That, you know what I mean. That's why I was wondering.
Got the male voices on point.
True.
I just couldn't get over that. I couldn't get over it. But you don't care if it's a man or a woman who narrates.
Most people don't in most cases.
Right, and a lot of stories don't call for it to be
either or. That's why I was curious. I've never heard it being with two or have to be one or the other. I didn't ever hear anybody picking that. I was curious.
Because mine is first person. So Pandora is talking.
Sure.
That's why. And she's going, oh my God, why am I on this elevator kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Shattered where anybody literally could read Shattered. I wouldn't want it to be anybody, but anybody could. It's third person omniscient.
Yeah.
And so, okay. I understand. And we probably went on a little long too. Oh no, we still got a few minutes. We could do another sprint.
You can try. I don't know if
anybody wants to. That's if anybody wants to.
Yeah, I think I will have to get off. I could do part of the sprint if you do a sprint, because I have to get off before that. I take my little brother to work. I have to roll out soon.
Right.
Got my evening workout too. I got to do when I get back here. Oof.
Okay, girl. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Wendy. Mr. A. Holstein. Or is it Holston? Because I needed a name for an a-hole character, and it just kind of stuck. Asshole. Ah!
That's funny.
For my asshole characters, I named them after people who are assholes in my life. And I dared them to come forward and say, you're talking about me. Oh, are you claiming to be an asshole right now? Is that what you're saying?
You're owning up to what you are?
To this?
I'm glad
I feel like an asshole right now.
That ass.
Oh my God.
I named the character Sienna because it was Red Riding Hood retelling. See, that perfect. Sienna is a reddish brownish thing. I love it.
Yeah.
My Red Riding Hood was Rowan for red. And She didn't have, no, she did have a last name. Her name was Red. I just don't remember what Rowan. Do you remember what it was? Rowan what?
I can't.
I can't remember.
I'm
not good, don't look. I'm not good on remembering shit, which is again why I write it down. But her first name is Rowan.
Yeah, I believe so.
Dr. Okami. That was a fun story.
Night, Alec.
So I'm glad she was able to join us that time. Let's see.
Oh man. Ooh.
Yes, mood boards. Mood boards really helped me see where my betas was seeing. So that was a good thing. That's a good thing to do with your betas, guys. You don't look like a Lewis. You look more like a Cornelius. Meet the Robinsons. Yes. Yeah, I do dual perspectives too. I have never done a dual perspective until I did Sheer. It is the only one. And I may not do it. That was just the initial concept, to switch between the two girls. I may go back to Omniscient, call it a day, because it would be too much of a departure from what Shattered and Stained is.
Yeah, that's true.
I love Meet the Robinsons. Let's see. It seems that way lately. All my work for the past 3 series have been that way. Okay, I get it. Adam, there's a book by the Halo franchise referred to as Halo First Strike. The book is filled with a number of perspective shifts that jump between characters on different planets in different time. Damn.
Are you talking about Halo? You talking about for the Xbox? Some of Microsoft's Halo?
I didn't know they were
books.
Because I have the books. I have some of the books, but I didn't get too confused with that either. Only because of course I had played all the games previously too, so that might have helped. So I was already prepared for it.
I'm the villain in plenty of stories. It's true. But to me, Eva is fucking amazing. She's more like
Eva. The name is like used that way though.
She's more like Robin Hood to me. Yeah, she does some crazy shit, dirty, underhanded shit for the betterment of the people who are being mistreated. That is Eva. I did not read a lot of erotica when I was a teenager.
Dude, I'd never even seen an erotica when I was a teenager. My mom probably would have killed me if I had even tried.
I read a lot of sex books, but not erotica. Like I read a lot of clinical.
No, I wanted to know
everything.
I was a slow build teenager. When I was 15, I was still like, I just like dudes' faces. I was like, he's really cute like that. So I don't know. I was still playing Barbies at 12.
I was always, girl, what you talking about? I still play with Barbies.
I got action figures, if that count.
I got I'll show you my collection one day.
I have a collection of ones that's not open that my grandmother gave me. My Native American ones. I got like 4 of those.
She said there was a gateway drug. I didn't read erotica, but was pregnant at 15. Maybe it's a good placebo. It might be.
I don't know, because I didn't read erotica at that age, but I didn't get pregnant until I was 30, 32, 31. Something like
I didn't get. Cover your ears, Stewie. I didn't even have sex as a teenager or nothing, and I wanted to because I was hot. Like
yeah, we can tell.
I know it's hard to tell.
I think that's more actually.
I was like, oh my god,
that's actually more normal for guys though, not to lose their virginity when they're like teenagers. In most cases, the percentage-wise, they checked it. Females lose their virginity more when they're teens, and males more in their 20s. So, but I wasn't that person. I lose my virginity until I was 23. So I wasn't even interested in trying to do that shit. I was like, no.
I was interested in. I'm gonna say around.
I did like. Fucking get off of me, like leave me alone. I used to be actually before I lost my virginity, I used to work GameStop, and I dressed like I always dress, like cleavage, and I had my black on, my goth, and my leather, and my chains. And people see you with chains and leather on, then they sometimes think that you're promiscuous. And I'm like, no, that doesn't mean that. Just because I'm a goth chick don't mean that. So since I would turn guys down all the time, they used to call me a lesbian a lot.
Oh, I used to get called everything because again, it's clear I got issues. Okay, I've always just loved boys. I just can't help it, and it may have been overly so, but at the same time, I didn't chase boys, and I definitely didn't give in. So I was always going against my nature as a kid because I wanted something different. I knew that sex wasn't the end all beat all.
Yeah.
So that's literally the only reason. It wasn't because of the lack of wanting, because Lord Jesus, I'd have been in trouble at like 13 or something.
You must
I
have.
fell in love every 10 minutes.
Yeah, my first time, my wife got pregnant, so I'm glad I didn't do it soon.
Oh, fertile girl, watch out.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's kind of beautiful though too.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. You're going to make me cry because wait till you read Shattered and you'll see why. Okay. Because that's pretty. That's just beautiful to me. But
you'd be like one of those guys that look at their wife and they just be pregnant, like my great grandfather. He had 23 kids. You look at his wife and she was pregnant.
I know my first babysitter had 18 children. I was like, wow.
So it must be probably somebody from my family then. So all of them had like 18 kids and shit. My grandmother had the least, and that was 5. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
She said that's why she started babysitting, because once her kids were grown, they all had grandkids or had kids, so she had grandkids. And she had them around the house, and then after they got grown, she didn't know what to do with no kids, so she started babysitting.
Oh my god, dude!
I would have loved to have more kids, and it's probably easy to tell that because I wound up raising so many kids that I did not give birth to. So I would have, if I would have got married, I'd have been a baby making machine.
I know your husband like trying to leave the bedroom. You wouldn't even let him.
I wouldn't. I have that bedroom set up for fun. So and sleeping, I guess. But
yeah, sure. You have a different bedroom for that, I'm sure.
You'd have a playroom.
I probably would.
She would. It's Aphrodite we talking about here.
But I've never been married. I've never even had like a legit boyfriend. I've had sex. Okay. But I didn't have my baby. I didn't get pregnant until I was 26. I didn't have a baby until I was 27. And I really thought that by the time I was 27, I would have been like on my 10th kid, but that didn't happen.
My first one right before I turned 23.
See, I would have loved to been able to been in a I wasn't in a relationship with my son's father. I loved him, and he knew I had a crush on him and all that other good stuff. But he also said, this is why I always give him props. He's like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm not interested in this and the third. So I don't want to be like hurting you and all this other stuff because I know that you like me more than I like you. So I was like, okay. And in my brain, I went, challenge. Aries. He doesn't realize that he needs me. And I'm going to make sure he knows it. So it took me about 2.5, 3 months to realize, no, he told you the truth.
He was being honest with you.
He was honest from the first day to the last. And you let green eyes suck you in because I am a sucker for green eyes.
Well, green eyes are just, And
so, but he would tell everybody, like he would always brag about me. He's like, Goddess, she's so this. And he would nickname me sometimes and call me Professor. She's so smart and she's so great. Mm-hmm. And she's like my best friend. I'm thinking, see, best friends can be more. But no. So when I stopped being that dummy, and we were still really good friends, and there was this girl at our job because we worked at the same job, and there was this girl, and she would always come up to me. She goes, "Your brother is so cute." I'm like, "He's not my brother, but he is cute. Can you introduce me?" And I thought, you know what, I will. And I introduced them, and they wound up dating. Whole time though, my black ass was pregnant and didn't know. So it didn't become drama until it was like, oh my God.
Girl, you turned to that drama. Like, I just swear I just watched the drama with that same shit. Like, oh, this guy, but it was reversed. It was the guy, and he was like, he liked this chick, but he introduced his friend or whatever into the girl. I'm like, why you introducing people? Stop.
But I did because we really weren't. It was nothing about us going to be together.
True that.
It really, like,
I'm just saying, I'm not helping.
Truly, we're friends. I know people say that all the time and then don't really mean it because they're still caught up. But I have too much, what do you call it? the saving mechanism that wants to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I really realized that he really was truthful to what he was saying,
Mm-hmm.
I was good. Like, okay,
Yeah, that's true.
yes, girl.
I'm still not helping you though.
I'll tell you about the other boy who was just, I love him.
Girl.
I love him. He looked like Japanese anime character. But anyway, so
They exist for real. It's crazy. Just saying, they do.
so I introduced them, and they were really happy for a really good amount of time. Like, it was really a good thing. The problem was the fact that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Then I
That could
had
be a
to,
problem.
get with his family and tell his family. It was a big mess.
Oh
And
man.
he was younger than me. Oh my God, did I tell you that?
Yeah, because you always chasing them younger girls.
Oh, I didn't know. I swear. He told me how old he was.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is me.
It's not like you was caring. You were like, guess what? This is hot. I'm taking it. I don't care what age it is.
I just didn't believe him.
You knew he was an adult. That's all that mattered.
And he was an adult.
You didn't care otherwise.
He wasn't legally an adult when I first met
It's
him.
not like age matters anyway in the instance of when people are attracted to each other. Now it could matter if you get into a relationship and y'all don't even like get along, whatever. But passion has no age. I'm just saying, you're attracted to each other has no age.
No, I'm not going there.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in some cases that's true. Like some people attracted to people different ages. They don't. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
I used to tell people all the time that I was stuck at 27, and which is funny because I never realized that it was 27 where I was stuck at.
Mm-hmm.
But I said I was still a dirty old lady because I still feel like I'm in high school, but 27. And when my son turned 27, I'm still turning 27. Every birthday they would give me cakes, and it'd be like really pretty white cakes with silver sprinkles. Happy 27th birthday, Aphrodite.
So this bitch 27 forever.
I've been 27 for like 29 years.
I think she a vampire, y'all. I'm just saying.
I've been 27 for almost 30 years. So.
Oh god! All right, so I'm gonna have to jump off, guys. I gotta go do errands, my evening errands. Since I'm a vampire myself, I always do everything at night. So, all right, but thanks for having me right with you guys, and I will check you later. Peace out.
All right, see you later, girl. I think you can put yourself out. I don't know how to do it. So.
Yeah, I can. I'm good. Check you later.
Let me see what else. Hold on, because I can't stand this screen. Hold on. That might not be better, but it makes me feel crazy when it's all up like that. Let's see. Auto books out there like that. And let's see. I gotta really look into that. The Pigman books does that. The Pigman book does that, I believe. I gotta look into that. Where one man reads one chapter, and woman reads the next. I mean, I was even considering going, reading one of my books and going through getting myself together to do it. But I know it would take me a lot longer because I have a hard time with speech. So,
me too. I stumble with the words all the time.
Yeah, and so it can still be done, and it wouldn't be on a rush because I literally can get a sentence in and just be like, okay, I love the next one and then do it again. I've been watching a lot of YouTube on that, on doing your own audiobook.
That's how I used to do music. I would just record, and whenever I messed up, just delete like that little bar or whatever, and just pick up right there. So you don't have to redo all of it.
So let's see. I don't even know why you're laughing on this one, Eva. I missed some stuff. Oh my God, I missed a lot. I'm always interested while I have. So I have to like you. I love boys, but some ladies sprinkled in. I think that people who can love people how they come are blessed. Did I miss something? I like humans. I got something to send you. I literally have a character who said that exact line. I was a naive child who didn't have anywhere else to invest my time. High school boyfriend, stayed together 3.5 years. 3.5 years too long. Oh God. I've not had a boyfriend. I've never been in a relationship like a legit, you are my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend situation. I've always, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like it just never happened for me, and I always wanted it, but I never got it. Stewie got skills. Yes, Stewie has many skills. First of all, brilliant, brilliant fucking writer. You guys, if you don't have Metaphor yet, get it. Definitely. I didn't read erotic until I was 18, still confused until I lost my this is the one thing that I wasn't. Again, virgin for a very long time, but I did read a lot of clinical medical stuff, and then I had parents who were, you ask them a question, they tell you. They were like out there. Like if you said, so what's this? Blah blah blah. They just friggin' told you. So when I did read erotica, it all made sense, but it kind of went into the clinical sense, if that makes it didn't. The purpose of erotica is to tantalize, and it didn't work on me in that way. I was more interested in how people were hooking up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you talked about introducing one of your friends or whatever earlier. One of my exes who introduced me and my wife.
See, I mean, it literally can legit be a good thing. Like they really dug each other, and it did not bother me in the least. I think had we been boyfriend and girlfriend and broke up, I probably would have felt a little differently. And even then, I still am really good at letting go. I don't know what it is. Like you don't beg people to be in your circle.
I'm in the moment or whatever. I'm a little, no, but
right.
I still talk to like all my exes.
Right. Let's see. Because it was fun, not because it was interested in them. The girls I hung out with thought I was putting out to them. Kids.
Yeah, a lot of people just think I was gay because I was a virgin, and most of the chicks I dated didn't live in the town I lived in, so they always thought I was just making up people. So that's all whatever.
It's immediately like
I played along.
I got called a lesbian so much because I was always really vocal about the fact that that hadn't slept with anybody yet. And they're like, well, damn, like, aren't you 19? Aren't you 20? What's going on with you? Oh, you must be gay. Well, why does that make me gay? I could have slept with a girl. Like, I just, people kill me. They kill me. Oh. It's not going to hurt my feelings calling me that because I don't, love is fucking love in my book. So.
I had depression issues. I figured if I went that far with somebody, I'd be too emotionally attached. And I had suicidal tendencies at times that I've actually tried to commit suicide. And I was just too afraid I would get that attached and then it'd break off. And
then you really be pushed over the edge.
Yeah.
And we can talk about
that. Was my reasoning.
But it's a safety mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safety mechanism. And it was like I wasn't, trust me, like I wanted to be doing some stuff, but I guarded my feelings.
It's not that I didn't have the opportunity. I had plenty of opportunities, but
right. I think we live in a land of opportunity.
Oh yeah. Especially people around here, they're all hoes.
True. Accurate. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so I think I did. Oh, I didn't make it to the bottom yet. I'm getting there, guys. Please bear with me. Right. I think I was in that category with you, Persephone. I remember sharing that chef was a sentimental penis from a book my mom had. I learned there was a book called Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Was Afraid to Ask back in the 70s. That was the book. And that was actually not a really good book because the guy was really biased. But that was the one where I started learning a lot of stuff. And again, I would read anything that had to do with learning about it clinically. I would read those.
Yeah, my wife likes reading like gay fan fiction, and then she gets so mad when stuff's not like accurately described.
Yeah, I like it too. Actually, I like reading. Like I had sex ed. I went to Catholic school. You had to go to sex education.
Yeah, I'd take it 2 years.
You had to. They didn't play.
Like 7th grade, then again in 9th.
We started in I graduated 6th grade. We started in 5th and 6th grade. 5th and 6th grade had to do it. and it was like the basics because they felt like girls could start getting curious at that time, so they wanted to get you before you didn't know what the hell was going on with your life.
We didn't have an
They
actual.
had to do it again in high school.
Yeah, we didn't have an actual sex ed class. We had a health class that had like a sex ed section that we had taken 7th grade and then 9th grade. And then from 9th through 12th, you could take a parenting class or whatever if you wanted that.
Oh, okay. We had to. Catholic school didn't play. Their whole thing was you had to be informed. Like we had to get all this permission from our parents and stuff like that. It was a big deal because they literally were telling 9 and 10-year-olds the birds and bees, and they did not hold back. I mean, again, it wasn't anything erotic about it, but it was total sex ed from boy meets girl to girl is pushing out a baby. And then we had to watch.
That's what our health was, basically. I mean, there was some other stuff, but there's probably a couple months just dedicated to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parenting class, they had one of those pregnant belly suits or whatever you had to wear around or whatever. They made all the guys wear it that took it just so that they would know what it was like to carry a baby.
Feel the
And
weight.
they issue these little dolls that had this computer chip in it and it would cry and it would monitor to
We
let
didn't
you
have that in school.
to let the teacher know if you actually fed it or if you changed it or whatever. And I know one of my friends lived down the street from me. He lived with his grandparents and his grandpa got tired of listening to it cry, so he shoved it in the freezer. So he didn't get a good grade on that.
Child Protective Services. Oh my goodness.
Basically.
Yeah, I grew up I went to school in the dark ages, so they didn't have that kind of thing. The most they were doing, and when you got to high school, and I went to high school in the 70s. Okay, you had to take care of the egg, and if you broke the egg, you failed. So you decided to remain single. I'm being honest. Right now in my life, I would love to not be single, but I'm not going to settle for somebody who's not right. That'd be a waste of time.
It never bothered me whenever I was single. I could do whatever I want.
But you're a baby. You're a baby. I'm not. I'm old. You're like my son's age.
Yeah.
Monday, I think my son's older than you. Monday, my husband.
How old is your son?
28. He's 28.
I'm 29.
Okay, y'all same age. You could be my son.
I'll be 30 in December. So
he turned 20. When you turn 30, a month later, he'll turn 29. Monday, my husband and I hit 19 years together. That's what's up. Our son turns 2 in December. Oh, he was long awaited. So you got a firstborn at 22. Your first one is 22 and your other one is 2. You got 20 years apart. My auntie did that. It wasn't 20 years. It was 15 years. So when she had my little cousin Nikki, Tony was 15 when she was born. And she said, what did I do? Why did I do this thing? Your body hates you. Your body
I didn't want kids too far apart. I wanted them kind of close.
Everybody told me to have, if you're going to have kids, have them as steps. It's easy.
Yeah, I wanted them about 2 or 3 years.
Easier. But I just wasn't blessed. Well,
My mom wanted more kids, but she got with my dad. I think they met at a bar or something, and she just got with him so she could have a kid. And then they got divorced. I think they separated when I was like 10 months, and it was finalized whenever I was like 2.
Right, you were talking about that, and he wasn't the best person.
No, he abused me and tried to kill me and everything else, and tried to kidnap me after they separated.
He just sounds like a peach.
Oh yeah. And then when I turned 18 or 17, 18, something like that, he found me on MySpace trying to see if I wanted to meet him. I'm like, good crap. I was like, no, not really.
Even give it a try. No one else will hear it but you. No one else will hear it but you. So did I miss anything? Met on MySpace. I've been together for 10 years. Damn. I want a husband.
Yeah, me and my wife have been together about 9 years. Come January.
Your wife is funny. She had me laughing in the video y'all did.
Yeah, she's very awkward on camera and stuff.
Yes, Rita. Yes. Yes, my son and his fiance, they met in they actually met in middle school, but they didn't date until high school. They became boyfriend and girlfriend before they graduated, and they're getting married this October.
Yeah, me and my wife, she's like 2 years younger than me, but we had an art class together supposedly. I don't remember it, but she says she remembers it. But I slept in a lot of my classes, so that's probably why I don't remember. But she said she remembered waking me up every day. I was like, yep, that sounds like me. But I didn't really know her until we started dating, really.
Right, and that's how it works.
That was about it. This is how most of the people I've dated. We didn't really have a friendship beforehand. It was just kind of, we met, we dated, and then it went from there.
It's friendship in the opposite direction.
Okay. So we can work on that. Make sure you're kind of taken for now, so I don't have the chance of losing you or something.
You've been branded. You is mine.
Oh yeah.
You can't
all claimed. Now what's your name?
I swear now I gotta write a thing like that. Like Jenna's, yeah, that video was off the charts, ridiculously funny. Jenna is crazy. Yeah, I don't know how old. My mother didn't have the sex talk. What she would do was, if I asked a question, she would answer it. But she didn't sit me down and go, okay, let's talk about this, that, and the third. She was a little squeamish about it, but she would truthfully answer.
I know I'd come. There's one chick I was dated. She lived on the street behind me, and she had a daughter when I was dating her. And I'd go over there and we'd hang out until like 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, watching movies, doing whatever. I'd come home, and the next morning my mom would be like, what time did you get home? 4. So I hope you use protection.
Oh, wow.
I didn't need anything to use protection for, but okay. So when I was young once, I said, well, apparently use a whore. And I know a lot of people I used to hang out with
like
smoke pot and stuff. And she's like, I used to be a teenager once.
Yeah, you're a slut. So
yeah.
I'm not. Don't compare me to you.
I know, right? I didn't get married just because I want to have a kid. I'm sorry.
That's pretty cool, Alec, whoever did that. Public school did that. Yep. Right on the nose. Right on the nose. We had it 5th and 6th because they combined the 5th and 6th grades together. Then we had it again when we hit high school. Freshman, and you're right, freshman and junior. They do. They really do. Oh, you've been blessed. I would love to have had a bigger brood. Yeah, y'all are babies. That's what's up. That's when I think about that, my son has been with his fiance for 10 years. But they're not married yet. Even though if you ask him if he's married, he says he's married. That's how he looks at it. Because we bred and raised ponies, I learned where babies come from. Oh my God, that's a way to learn. Didn't put my knowledge to use since I was 19, right? And I think a lot of adults fear that if they tell you about it, then you're going to go out and go use the knowledge. And that's like the opposite. Like if you're more armed, you may go out, but you're still thinking about things a little differently than wandering to a situation that you do not understand and don't know what's happening. Or legit
younger people, whatever, teenagers and stuff, if you tell them not to do something, or try to keep them from doing something, it just makes them want to do it more.
Yep. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I lost out a lot because I've never had that partner in crime that I always wanted. And I kind of still feel that way because I'm older now. So it's like anything is possible. Stuff can still happen. You just never know. Orlando Bloom can stop losing his mind and catch a clue. But it would be nice to have a partner. I always wanted that. And I think that's the one thing that always eluded me. You know how you want 10 things and you get 9, and that one just always stays out of reach. And I always felt like that's what that was. It stayed out of reach. And I can't have more kids now. So that's, gone. But I still feel like I deserve a partner in crime. I need my PIC. So if someone loves you, and if they also like you, and I always say that because I love my brother, but I do not like him. I love him, but I do not like him. If we were not related, we would not be associated. But I do love him, and I do pray for him. And so if you love somebody, they love you, and they like you, you're good to go. Did too much too soon, and I'm here. I wish I could go back. But one of those things, don't feel like that. Don't feel like that, because whatever you got out of it, whatever lesson you learned out of it, whatever babies you got, that's always a good thing. And you have to take that part of it that was good. And ignorance isn't bliss. You learn hard lessons with ignorance, but you learn lessons. So don't feel like that. I refrain because I watch some of my friends have sex once and they're crazy. What's a GF? Is that girlfriends?
Yeah.
Get pregnant. Most of our friends have children. I didn't. I refrained solely because, like I said, I was guarding my feelings because I wanted to do it. I used to go to the playground as a kid, and I would get on swings and I would just imagine the life of me and the boy who would sweep me away, and we would do things and have babies because that was always my thing. You had to get babies. So, and that was also another reason why when I got old enough to have babies that I've also refrained, because I didn't want to have a baby if I wasn't married. And it wasn't even a prudy thing. I just didn't want it. I didn't want to do it by myself. And I felt like if I was married, that person was committed to the relationship and I didn't have to do it alone. Whereas you can have a baby with somebody and not be married to them, and they could be committed to you and the kid. But I just felt like I needed that extra boost in order to do it. Sorry, I can't. My eyes are failing on me. That's why I'm feeling. Love is an action. Resistance. It's hard. Yeah. Oh, I missed something you said. That sounds like a line in that needs to go in the book as well. That sounds like a line. We went to some crazy places tonight. How many words did we get done total? Do you remember?
We only did 2 sprints.
Yeah, we only did 2 sprints. I'm gonna have major catch up to have to do tomorrow and Thursday.
Here, I got 988.
988 for the sprint or the whole day?
Just for the sprint.
Okay. I only got a couple hundred because I had to revamp. So I didn't even hit 1,000 during the sprint, but I did do stuff before the sprint.
Yeah, I did stuff early.
Do anything after because I've been up since really early. I'm on 4 hours of sleep, so I got to make up some sleep, and then I will make up some writing.
Yeah, I had let's see here, 4,730 for the day.
Damn, so you can actually hit 5 grand before you go to bed.
Yeah, just one more sprint, easy. It's another
You want to do
270.
one more sprint? You guys want to do one more sprint? It's 7 people still here. You guys down for another sprint? We could do another 20. 12:25 for Persephone for the sprint or for the day? Golly. It's okay. We don't have to. I mean, we can Stewie definitely can catch up his 300 words in his sleep. He can just think about 300 words and they will appear on the screen.
Oh yeah, so I gotta get up early and take my wife to work and then get the kids ready for school. And,
Right. Why, you said that yesterday. Why are your kids in school already?
Arkansas, they start mid-August.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was talking to my boss about it because she's from New Jersey originally, and she's like, "Why are they starting so early?" I was like, "That's how Arkansas has always been."
okay. Persephone, don't be too upset with us, but I think we really should call it a night. And my eyes really are failing, so I'm having a hard time even finding the right place to click. So I can type without seeing, but I can't do this without seeing. Don't worry about anything where you're behind on, though. I'm so behind today because I'm a little bit behind from yesterday, but I'm really super behind now today. I'm going to make that up in the next 2 days. I would have got a little bit more done on this if I didn't have to halt it. So I only have like maybe 3,000 words today, if that. And those 3,000 are going to pretty much, I'm counting them, but they kind of scrapped because this project isn't going to work until I fix that outline. So,
Alec, where are you from? I don't know if I've seen that before.
where?
Oh, I was asking Alec where she's from. He's from.
Really?
I think a lot of the Midwest starts around August. I know Arkansas does.
Snow days and stuff, because I know in Maryland for a little while we used to start, we had this thing where we started a little bit earlier than we usually do because we were having such disastrous snow days where the kids were missing so much school that they wanted to try to bank them in case that was
I
going to
know the school I went to, we did our snow days. They had some like parent teacher conference days or some just teacher workshop days that they had just for the teachers to do whatever, and they would use our snow days for those. And then if they use up all those, then they would take it out of spring break and then add it onto that end of the year if they had to do that as well. But where I live now, for the kids, they send home like work packets. So if they have a snow day, they still have to do work, and that way they don't have to make up the day because they're still getting work done.
We had something similar to that in Catholic school. We didn't have to follow the state rules 100% as far as days went, but we still had work that we had to make sure we kept up, and they were really good with that.
Yeah.
So when we had a snow, like we got out, we started school in September, we got out of school in May. There was never no days to make up and shit like that.
Yeah, we usually start mid-August and get out early to mid-May.
Oh, honey, in Maryland, you would think sometimes we were in Alaska. But at the same time, in Maryland, you could think we're in fucking Africa. Maryland is one of those states that we get everything: hurricanes, tornadoes.
Yeah, we get a lot of it. We don't get hurricanes because we're not on the coast, but we get a lot of the rain and downfall or downpour and all that stuff and the flooding from the hurricanes. But
right. And we get everything. We have
tornadoes, ice storms.
Right. Those ice storms are a bitch. And I'm in a place called Dundalk, which is like right outside of Baltimore. And I'm on a peninsula. So I have water on 3 sides of me. And there's like no saving us. There's times when we're trapped in our township.
I know 2009, we had an ice storm. And most of the town that I lived in was out of power for like almost a month because of all the power lines. That's
crazy. We had water come up. We had flooding so bad that there were buildings we couldn't see.
Yeah, 2011, the Mississippi River flooded, and I'm like right there. 'Cause I used to work on the river, and I was out of work for about 2 months because it was flooded. Because I worked building barges for the river, so where the river is, and then you got the levee. The factory was in between those two, so it wasn't even over the levee. So I was out for work about 2 months there.
I'd be afraid to work at the Mississippi River. I don't know why. It'd be. I don't know. I would just think. I don't know. I would think I would get.
I got to go swimming in it a couple times.
Oh,
They would use logs. And, they put the barge on, and then it would go down this little ramp into the river, and we'd have to go out and retrieve the logs.
no. I swim in pools. I do not
I didn't do it in winter.
live bodies of water. They have critters in live bodies of water. I don't play that.
They can be your friends.
No. A goldfish come up to me. I'm gonna die in the water, not because I drowned, but because I had a heart attack.
All three of my kids, my father-in-law and his wife, have a giant fish tank in their living room, and they have itty bitty fish like about this much. And all three of my kids have enjoyed sticking their fingers in it and letting the fish like nibble on their fingers.
I would have a heart attack. And it's so crazy because I was not like that as a kid. Now, I always had the problem with the oceanic creatures like octopus and sharks and shit. But fish,
I never got to swim in an ocean.
guppies, I never had a problem with that. I don't know when it switched, but it did. It did. I can't do it. Do y'all hear my neighbors? Jesus Christ.
I don't hear anybody.
Oh, what time is it? Okay, 10:51. Alec, I don't know what you put there.
It looks like a person.
You have to go to you have to go in YouTube to see it.
It's like this. Like I don't know.
I'll look at it in the chat when I get done. But I'm glad.
And then is that the male symbol? The little circle with the little arrow going up.
I think that's male, and then female.
Yeah, female. I was thinking like little stick figure, dress, whatever.
I don't remember, but I think that's I think it's
One of the two.
So
I can never keep those straight. It's something.
I can't either. And then even when I see them together, I think I can figure it out, but I never can.
I think that thing pointed up like an erection, and then the other one's not.
Oh, that's actually a good way to
That's
think.
how I'll try to remember it.
That's what I'm gonna do from now on. I'll remember it. If that's right, I gotta check that that's right. Then
I think that's what I always think of. I don't know if that's right or not. But
the other one is flaccid. So yeah, I'll think of it that way.
I don't know.
I know you gotta go, and I need to go because my head is ringing. That's too much light got in, so it's messing with my eye disorder. So, and it's not, I can't even blink it away at this point. So tomorrow I will be back. I didn't come in and do the 6 o'clock check-in because I had company, but I'll come in tomorrow, do a 6 o'clock check-in for a little while, but then I'll jump back out and then come back and do 8:30 and we'll do this again. And we'll really get some writing done and not talk so much. We're going to talk, but just not so much. Okay, so everybody have a good night. Bye. Oh, wait. We still have 10 people. Did you have anything you need to tell them, Stewie? Metagore and all that?
Yeah, you can go buy my book, Battle for Metagore. It's
Look how
available.
pretty that cover is, guys. Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
I
pretty.
actually designed the flags. You can't really see them on here, but there's like 6 flags on the back. I actually designed those myself.
I can't see them, but
Oh yeah, I figured it'd be too small for you, but I designed those. I had 8 little pages to the cover, and they incorporated those flags for me. You can buy my book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books Depository, Indigo, IndieBound. Probably some more places. I think Walmart has it. Google Books. I don't know what all.
Walmart even has it. Oh,
Yeah, Kobo.
I'm so proud of you. That's so amazing.
Yeah, so you can go there. All of those links are usually on all of my videos on my channel. You can just go there and click it, or you can go to my website, click the buy button, and it pulls up all the different places that I'm aware of that has it. There might be others, I don't know. And you just click whichever one you want to use. It's available in ebook and paperback. I have a newsletter on my website you can sign up for, and you'll get the first 2 chapters sent to you of my book, so you can read it first to see if you actually want to buy it. I believe I still have like either the opening scene or the first chapter on my website. I think it's just the opening scene. So you can read it on there without even signing up for my newsletter if you don't want to. And I'm planning on, once I get that portion back from my narrator, putting that up on there so you could either read it or listen to that opening scene.
Oh, cool.
But,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it's so amazing. Okay. I don't have anything new going on. My information is the same. I'm still working on the novel release, which is happening in November. I got my book cover back. I will be doing a book cover reveal, but that's still a few weeks away. And I'll be Encounters the 7 Erotic Sins is still on sale for 99 cents. It's going to stay 99 cents until it's not fucking hot outside. So that's my goal on that one. Other than that, if I think of what else I need to be saying, I'll tell you all tomorrow because my brain has now also shut down with my eyes. So good night, everybody. Thank you, Stewie, for hanging out with me. Thanks, everybody else, for hanging out. Love you all. See you tomorrow or later on today.